In this video, I'm going to show you how to create my Firehouse chili. This just means that it is hot and spicy. So if you keep watching, I can show you step by step. So these are some things that you need. Everything will be in the description box, the measurements, as well as your grocery list. So I will go through everything thoroughly. And right here, I'm just going to show you all of the spices that you need. And when you are making chili, it is very important to prep. If you do not prep, you will be standing there a long time, about 2 to 3 hours. If you're slow cooking it, it could take 6 to 8 hours. So we're first going to prep by having you chop and dice all of the peppers. So you have 2 jalapeno peppers, 1 habanero pepper, and 2 ghost peppers, as well as 1 whole onion. So once diced, it should look just like this. And now we're going to start the cooking process. I am using a Dutch oven. You can use something similar. And first thing that you're going to do is you're going to heat up about 3 tablespoons of oil. And then you're going to go ahead and add all of the diced peppers and the onion into the pot. So you do want to make sure that you are chopping the onion and the peppers in small cubes. So the reason why you do this is because you do not want to bite into a big chunk. And right here, I'm just telling you that I changed the view of the video so you guys can see inside of the pot, which is why it looks like this. So as this is cooking, you want to cook this on medium to low heat. You want to add 2 tablespoons of red pepper flakes. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. I do suggest that you use minced garlic because fresh garlic will spoil quicker. And this is a dish where it will sit up into your refrigerator for about 4 to 5 days. So you want to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes. It will continue to cook for about an hour once you get everything in the pot. I do not like raw vegetables. I don't like crunchy vegetables. So this is why I cooked mine for that long. But if you want more of a crunch, you want to cook it for less, for about 3 to 4 minutes versus 6 minutes. So as this is cooking, you want to go ahead and grab your meat. I did not use ground beef. I used ground turkey. So if you want to follow this recipe, go ahead and get yourself some ground turkey. This was a 3-pound package and I used most of it. I only left about a quarter of it in there. And you just want to make sure that you are breaking this up. So when you're making chili, you don't want the meat to be really big chunks and pieces. You want it to be kind of fine. So you are just going to take your time and you're going to gradually add in your meat. You do want to break it up when you put it in the pot, and then you want to take your utensil and you want to break it up more. So I got this from Joann Fabrics. It works really well when I'm using stuff like this, especially since I don't have as much strength as I used to while cooking, and it will break it up. You just can't scoop with it. You can try to, but it's just going to get the stuff off the edges. It's not really going to serve the purpose of using it as a spoon too. They have one, but I think you have to order it. So please take your time doing this. If you do not have this utensil, a flat spatula will work just as fine. You cannot really break it up while the meat is raw. It'll just stick back together. So you'll let it cook halfway like I'm doing now, and then you'll start to break it up. So now we are going to start to season it. Each seasoning was about 1 to 2 tablespoons. I used 2 tablespoons of each. So we're first going to start off with black pepper. You want to use about a half a tablespoon of black pepper. And every time you use a seasoning, you want to mix it in just to make sure everything is well incorporated. So you're going to do exactly as I'm doing here. It is also very important to use cracked black pepper. Please use freshly cracked black pepper and not ground pepper. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add all of those spices and herbs that I showed you in the beginning, and I will go over them with you now. So we have 2 tablespoons of each as well. We have chili powder, Mexican oregano, Mexican cumin, paprika, seasoning salt, and one of the stars of the show, which is chili powder. So you want to again use 1 to 2 tablespoons, and you want to add half the mixture get it mixed up, and then you're going to add the rest of the mixture. It depends on how much you are making, but when I'm seasoning stuff, I like to use half first and then use the other half. So as you mix in the seasonings, you want to break up any large pieces of meat that you see. Again, you want really small pieces of meat in your chili. So this is me just adding the second half of the seasoning mixture, and you're just going to get that mixed in together. So I just showed you how to create your own chili seasoning mixture. So if you ever went to the grocery store, most people just go ahead and grab the packet because it has all of the seasonings that you need to put in your chili. So those are the seasonings that I just addressed you to that you would need to make chili, and it makes it easier. But if you want to go ahead and buy the packet in the grocery store, I don't suggest that you do, but if you want to do some shortcuts, go ahead and buy that, but you do probably have everything in your pantry already. So this is your base to your chili, and this is what this should look like. Now we're going to add the liquids. So you're first going to take 1 can of rotel, and it is going to be the one that is hot because we are making hot and spicy chili. You're going to get that mixed in as you see here. You're going to make sure that nothing is sticking to the utensil as well as the sides. Then you're going to add 1 1/2 can of green chiles. So if you like to, if you're making more than I'm making, you can add the full 2 cans. But I'm making just this regular pot of chili. This is a pretty big pot, but I like spice, so this is why I only added 1 1/2 can of green chiles. So after you get that mixed in well, you still want to stick to the same technique of adding an ingredient, mixing it, adding it, and then mixing it just to make sure everything is well incorporated. So now we're going to take some chipotles that's been sitting in adobo sauce. You will find these in an authentic Mexican aisle in your local grocery store, or you can go to a Mexican grocery store and you can get them. They're about 30, probably less than 50 cents to get them. So you're just going to take about 7 of these, or about 2 scoops of them. It's no need to chop them up. You can use the utensil. If you do not have the utensil, they are pretty tender, so you can use any utensil and get those broken up. Or you can leave them whole. This is just going to add more spice to it. So right here, I'm just showing you how I just took my utensil and I'm just breaking them up. You don't want to break them up fine. You just want to break them up a little bit to release more of that flavor. So again, these will bring spice. These kind of taste like jalapenos dipped in hot sauce. It just brings more spice to it. So now we're going to take a 1/2 can of diced tomatoes. We're only doing a 1/2 can because I used a bigger can. So you want to use the same bigger can, and then keep in mind that we did put rotel in here, which was the whole can. And rotel is just diced tomatoes marinated with different kinds of peppers as well, jalapenos and things like that. So you're going to go ahead and get that mixed in. And now you're going to take your 2 cans of your choice of beans. You're going to rinse them, and then you're going to add them to the mixture. So at this point, your foundation is completely done. So now we're going to add the second part of liquids to this. We added a couple different liquids, which was just the tomatoes and the chiles that have been soaked. So right here, I'm just showing you what it should look like. You see it cooking a little bit. So right here is kind of like a secret ingredient, but it's not. Many people do this. You are going to add 2 cups of beer. So it doesn't matter what kind of beer that you use. This is just going to be a seasoning agent because beer does have a lot of different seasonings in it. So now we're going to take 2 of the beef bouillon cubes, and we are just going to put that into the chili. Now we're going to add 2 cups of water. So you're going to do a total of 4 cups of liquid, 2 cups of beer, and 2 cups of water. Do not be alarmed. I know it's really loose right now, but it is going to cook down. So now you're just going to cover this, and you're going to cook this for a whole hour. So you're going to cook it on low. You're going to turn the heat down. At the 30-minute mark, you're going to check it. It should look like this. You want to stir it up just a little bit, and it should look like this. You're going to start seeing it get thick, but please make sure that your heat is turned down. You want it at a light simmer. If you want to cook it quicker, then that's when you would turn it up, but we're going to slow cook this. So now, after a whole hour, it should look just like this. Chili should not be too loose, and it should not be too thick. If you like thick chili, then you can go ahead and cook it longer. but this is what this should look like. So if you followed all my steps and you use all of the ingredients that I use, your chili should come out pretty good. Don't forget that your grocery list is in the description box. So right here, I'm just showing you just how it is supposed to look. If you would like to put this on some fries or make nachos out of this, you can just add equal parts of water and cornstarch in a bowl. I would say 1 to 2 tablespoons, get it mixed up, and then put it in the chili. It will thicken it so you can put it on your fries or your hot dogs or whatever you want to do. So I am just going to plate the chili, but right now I'm just prepping some toppings. I'm doing some cheddar cheese that I just grated up for you, and then I am making some cornbread with mine. So instead of me doing like the regular skillet of cornbread, I'm going to do cornbread muffins. And right here you just see me putting the cornbread into the muffin tin and putting those in the oven. So right here I'm just showing you that I have the cheddar cheese. I also have some sour cream, and I also have some diced red onion. Every time I was younger, I would eat chili. I would always have these 3. So this is what I just want to show you guys what I like in my chili. So congratulations, you are done. You have just created some Firehouse chili. And if this is your first time, this is a beginner friendly recipe. So now I'm just plating it up. Now I've seen people stuff cornbread with chili, but chili is more like a soup. So I feel like that the cornbread will soak up more of the liquid if you just put it in the inside. So this is why I made muffins, as you can see, and I pushed it to the end of a bowl, and then I just added the toppings in the middle. You can plate this however you want to, but normally when I plate chili, the cornbread is inside of the bowl. But if you are someone who likes more cornbread, then go for it. Go ahead and put the chili inside of the cornbread, and then that is your meal. So right here, you just see me taking some of the red onion, putting that to the side, and then some cheese and putting that on there. And then I'm going to take a dollop of sour cream and put this in the middle. A lot of people don't like sour cream in chili, but this chili is pretty hot, so you do need something that will help cool your mouth down. So this is what it looks like. This meal is good to go, and it is comfort food, and it is cold outside where I'm at now. So this is something that you can eat while it is cold outside, just to keep you warm, even though you're going to be in the house, but y'all get it. So let me know how y'all like this recipe, and I will see you in my next video.